The free $20,000 MLB 10 runs for free cash contest is now live at SBRforum.com. What is the contest? It's simple. Each day in a designated SBR Forum post, you pick one team that you think will score 10 or more runs that day. You qualify to win $100 that day if you are correct. Each day the game continues, you pick another team. And every time your team scores 10 runs, you'll be adding onto your total score. The contest is split into 3 segments, and at the end of each segment, the top scorers split $2,500. And at the conclusion of the contest, there's even more cash up for grabs, in total over $20,000. And I know what you're thinking. You can just pick the Yankees every day and win. No, you can only pick the same team once per week. Check out the link in the description for more info and see you in the SBR Forum for the contest.
Folks, welcome into SportsbookReview.com. It's Friday, and it's time to talk some Major League Baseball. As we say around these parts, Friday is payday. Welcome in here. Let's have some fun on one of our favorite shows because, as I like to say also, before you know it, it's going to be Monday. But let's enjoy the day today. I'm Donnie Seymour along with Jason Radowitz and Kyle Purviance. We are the SportsbookReview.com Major League Baseball team. Value menu last night. Thank you, Reds. Back on the right track. Play of the day on deck, ready to rock and roll, and we are ready to get it started. Jason, how you feeling on a payday Friday?
Yeah, look, yesterday didn't have an official play, so we got to go back today, and we do have an official play, and we'll try to go for the 4-0 sweep on the week, so hopefully we can do that, and excited for Friday, of course.
Hey, team Kyle, it's a Friday. What gives? We ready? Rocking and rolling?
Yeah, we're ready. I mean, it was a pretty calm day. Our pitcher got pulled. Obviously, Nick Neidert started, so I didn't have to sweat that out. The play of the day hit. Then the value menu, that was a painful one. Tyler O'Neill decided to not just hit a 3-run home run with 2 outs to take the lead in the 5th, but he hit it like 7,000 feet. He didn't just – the betting gods didn't just say F you, Kyle, right there. They did it with enthusiasm. But overall, a pretty solid day. The Reds hit. It's good for both of us. All the value menu stuff there. So good day. It's Friday, and I don't like this whole it's going to be Monday soon. I'm ready for Saturday morning. I'm ready for a little sleep in, a little rest.
People say they want shows every day, so let's just get back to Monday. Make sense.
Oh, yeah, I'm already
Saturday,
ready.
Monday.
Cue up the, hey, how come there's not a Saturday show tweet at 8:45 tomorrow morning? You can cue that up. But no, excited to go. Friday's payday. We got some picks today. We got a lot of bad pitchers. One pitcher who maybe isn't doing that great, but he's really handsome, and we're going to talk nice about him today. Going to be a fun show.
Yeah, there's some pitchers that are going to be some fun pitchers to fade, which I'm going after one of my old good luck charms today on the mound, but we'll get to that a little bit later. Thank you guys for tuning into the show here on a Friday. We'll have some fun, get through this entire card, maybe pick out some winners here. Also, 87,500 subscribers here to our YouTube channel, on our way to 100,000. Keep on pressing that subscription button down there, because when you do, and turn that notification bell on, you can come in here, talk to us in the chat box, share information, the design of the show, pick some winners, give out some information, have some fun, get in and get out. But also, you saw Lee Martin talking about the Major League Baseball contest we have at sportsbook.com. A lot of money in Bitcoin up for grabs, still there all the way through the rest of August, September, into the playoffs, but also the Pick 6 contest here at sportsbook.com. That's how you know it's football season. $50,000 up for grabs, $1,600 per week. If you need any more information, there is a link below where we're talking here, sbrpicks.com/MLB will get you there, /NFL will get you there. Anything you want, we got it. Rocking and rolling and ready to go. Afternoon Major League Baseball here, going to the top of the 2nd inning, Jason. Kansas City and Chicago. Looks like a nice day out there in Wrigleyville. I did not have a wager on this game, but any looks for you in this game on the early card?
Yeah, I got nothing, and it's both these pitchers on the mound. I think it's Keller and Davies. So, those are guys that we faded both throughout the entire season. So that's our thoughts on those pitchers, and obviously the bats and the lineups aren't too strong either. So it's a stay away game for me, and I'm sure it's a stay away game for everyone here. Not playing this one.
Yeah, it's interesting here. I'm taking a look here at BetMGM. I think I have a live total here in the game at 7.5 after 1 inning in Wrigley, which tells you all you need to know possibly about the 2 caliber of lineups that we have out here on the day card. Any looks here, Kyle, in this early game out in Wrigleyville between the Cubs and the Royals?
I consider doing a little single game DFS just for fun because you can get Ryan Ortega fairly cheap still on DFS. But for the most part, no. Look, these are two crap teams. I would favor the Royals just slightly, just a little bit here. Maybe you get a depressed team total later in the game. We know that Cubs bullpen is very susceptible to giving up runs in bunches. So I would take a look at KC. I think Oregon hit that in the chat box. I like the Royals a little bit here. But for me, I'd wait till it's later, get the lowest live total you can get, and then smash on it. That Cubs bullpen's been pretty bad.
No doubt about it. Let's get to the card
happy
today.
birthday to Philly Sports Passion 85, right there in your guys' neck of the woods. Philly sports fan, happy birthday, my friend. Thank you for tuning in.
There you go. Look at that birthday shout outs. Maybe Kyle get mad at a couple people as well.
We'll
Got
see.
that nice balance to the show. We're nice and we're mean at the same time. So it is what it is out here. Let's get to the Major League Baseball card today. White Sox and the Rays, a battle of some first place teams here. 971, 972. That is Giolito on the mound versus Waka. Across the board, 8.5. Slight favorite here offshore, opening up here with the White Sox at minus 111 at Pinnacle. That now sits at minus 112 here in New Jersey. 118s increased a little bit to 126s. You have the White Sox here as a favorite. If we're looking at this game, Jason, it's clear the better pitcher on the mound overall is Lucas Giolito, no doubt in my mind. This Tampa Bay team has been on a tear. What are we saying, Jason?
Yeah.
Praise Waka. Go ahead and praise.
I wouldn't be surprised if there are a run from both teams in this game. I agree with the White Sox are obviously the much better team going up against Waka, who has struggled recently. 14 innings pitched in August, 30 hits, 18 runs, 10 strikeouts in those 14 innings, also 5 walks and 4 home runs allowed. His game score, we talked about that, an average is normally 50. In those 3 games against the Twins, the Orioles, and the Mariners, all 3 teams that won't be making the playoffs this year, he had an average game score of just 23, an ERA of 11.57. So yeah, it's been rough for Waka, but even while he struggles, the Rays, they're still throwing him out there. They're letting him go 4 to 5 innings every start. Even if you go back to July, 6 innings, 4 innings, 5 innings, 5 innings, and then when he was getting rocked in August, 4 innings, 5 innings, 5 innings. So they're letting him stay out there. So that's why I don't mind taking that first 5 team total over for the White Sox in this game against Waka, because Waka's not leaving this game until he allows 4 or 5 runs, and then or until he gets to 5 innings. So I feel comfortable that I won't see the Rays bullpen until Waka collapses, or he goes 5 innings and somehow he does okay. But outside that, the White Sox lineup looks really good. 240 ISO, 351 weighted OBA against righties in the last 30 days. They do have high strikeouts. Waka, not really a high strikeout threat to begin with. And then his weighted OBA to both sides, over 400 on each side. ISO 318 on the left side. So righties 210 ISO. So both, of course, above average there as well. So I do like the White Sox lineup, but I would not be surprised if the Rays did some damage offensively. Now, their numbers are a little bit inflated due to going up against the Orioles 4 straight games, but they've looked really good against righties as well. And Giolito hasn't been perfect either, but he's been a lot better than Waka.
Yeah, you want some ISO power numbers. This looks like it's your game today. Forget about the pitching matchups and the bullpens coming in the game. Just look at the batting here, Kyle. If we take a look at Lau, 371 ISO power number. Franco, 225. Cruz, 264. Meadows, 333. Choi, 300. Rosarena, 189. Zanino, 351. 238 for Kiermaier. And then just flip it over to the Chicago White Sox. Out of their 9 eligible batters anticipated today, 6 of them elevated ISO power. You got a lot of power in this ball game. You also have 2 good bullpens and a place that doesn't really let up all that much runs. But Jason is right. They woke up out of the dark here. I mean, Tampa looks legit at the plate. Everything looks like it matches up here. So, quite frankly, we might get some runs regardless of the pitching matchup here, Kyle.
Yeah, I actually like runs in this game. And, of course, both teams are so good. So, I'm not going to be picking sides in this matchup. Either team could win. These are 2 teams, almost a guarantee bound for the playoffs. You could see them play each other in the postseason. I agree. Giolito, clearly the better pitcher here. However, I will say Michael Wacha, very handsome guy, very nice guy. I'm not going to call him any names tonight, and maybe that's some foreshadowings to maybe something we're talking about later in the show. But I like the White Sox team total here. Look, it's a weighted 3-year OPS. It's the second highest on the card of 905. Over those 3 years, it's an 895 to lefties, a 992 to righties. Everyone hits off of Michael Wacha. Now, he did have that one stellar performance against the Yankees, the one time we didn't need to, but 4 of his last 5 starts, 12 fantasy points or fewer. His last start against the White Sox, he got 18. You're getting the White Sox team total against a, what some people would say, subpar pitcher, but fantastic human being. Over 4.5 at -115. I saw someone in the chat say they saw the White Sox team total over 4.5 at +100. I think that's too good to pass up. I expect runs to be scored today. Nice advantages across the board. I like the White Sox lineup in DFS. I'm going to take the White Sox team total over 4.5, -115. But I think that Michael Wacha, maybe he gets hit a little bit, but he shows himself strong. He has a good showing of himself, performs well. But in the end, the White Sox still get the 5 runs.
All right, another good game here on the West Coast tonight, 979, 980. That is San Francisco and Oakland, the Battle of the Bay Area. Would the lefty be on the mound versus the righty Caprillion? If we take a look at the odds across the board, opening up as a slight favorite here towards the Oakland Athletics, has shifted now towards San Francisco. So if we take a look at the lineups here, they look decent. A 9 as a total across the board. So if we're trying to just get a feel, Wood has a decent xFIP number over the past 30 days, 3.89. But the one thing that you have to like here is the way that you can stack right-handed batters for the Oakland Athletics going up against a lefty. So that's going to be something has to give at this point. And also, I know Jason looks at this as well. Over the last 30 days, they're not striking out, being the Oakland Athletics, the left-handed pitching. And so that's going to be a key indicator. Taking over for the San Francisco Giants, going to an American League ballpark. You got 9 batters in the lineup. That lineup also looks pretty good as well. Caprillion is a 5.19 xFIP. So something has to give. This is a ballpark that doesn't really give up all that many runs. It is a pitcher's ballpark. But you have 2 good lineups in the equation tonight. Which way we look at? Any thoughts here between the Giants and the Oakland Athletics from your point of view here, Jason?
So first off, if you go to William Hill, they do have a promo going on for this game and this game only. You get double your winnings if you pick the right team that wins the game in this one. So I'm going to put $60.50 on the Giants in this spot, and I think the Giants will end up winning this game. Wood has been the better pitcher than Caprillion. 3.89 xFIP to Caprillion's 5.19. And Caprillion hasn't, been getting strikeouts. Under 15% of strikeouts in the last 30 days. Ground ball rate is low. Line drive rate is high. The hard contact, not terrible, but there's a lot more power in this Giants lineup. And the difference between the Giants and Oakland, the Giants have some power. Oakland, they're getting on base. They're not striking out. They're walking a little bit more. Well, Wood doesn't really walk too many batters. 5.5% walks. Ground ball rate higher, 47%. Hard contact also higher. Line drive rate also higher. But this is a ballpark that the line drives aren't just going to get out of the ballpark with a snap of a finger, like in Yankee Stadium, for example. So I do kind of like the Giants more in this spot. Both teams will get on base, but I think the Giants will probably have those clutch hits because they have more power in their lineup. So that's the side I'm going to go with.
It's a good game, and basically a coin flip here if we take a look at just the odds makers across the board in this one. You used to get these playoff-type atmospheres in a pitcher's ballpark. You do lean towards the under, but I got to say, Kyle, again, my initial thought process on this game is 2 good-looking lineups here. American League ballpark, no pitchers are going to bat. 3-3 turns into 4-4, and you got a total over in this one. Could be a decent shot here. What are you looking at between the San Francisco Giants and the Oakland Athletics out there in the Bay Area?
Yeah, this one's a little bit tough, and I think you guys are right. Runs could be scored here. On the surface, it's like, okay, this is a solid matchup between 2, I think we would all agree, slightly above average pitchers, right? These are not tomato cans. These are not aces. They're just right in the middle there. They're solid. They can put up numbers. The last time Caprillion started against the Giants, they lit him up. 6 fantasy points, got absolutely smashed. Alex Wood, in his last 2 starts, one was a 5. He got smashed, then a 37. So both these guys have these starts where they can be really, really good, or they can kind of blow up just a little bit. It's the highest combined weighted 3-year OPS of the 2 lineups against the pitchers. You got a 10.21 for the Giants against Caprillion, the highest on the card today, which is a little bit bizarre to me. I didn't think that number made a lot of sense, but it is what it is. And then it's an 8.22 for Wood against the A's. Pretty 50-50 for me. I don't feel comfortable taking a spot. I do think there will be runs scored in this game. But again, we have a wide range of outcomes here. For me, if you're betting this game, take the plus money in the first 5 innings for the A's because it's pretty 50-50 for me. I'll take the extra 25 cents. The money line in the first 5 is -120 for the Giants, plus 105 for the A's. I'll take the plus 105. I think it's pretty equal here. I do expect there to be runs. I don't mind taking the over. Me personally, I'm staying away from it. And if I was going to bet it, I would just take the plus money in a 50-50 spot and take the A's in the first 5 innings.
So something, I'm just watching the game here in the background on the TV, and I guess the Blue Angels are just circling Wrigley Field repeatedly right now. Got to love that if you're a pitcher out there, you're a batter, just trying to, get your innings in and, try to concentrate at the plate here. So some interesting doings here. Nobody scored yet, but top of the second inning, 2 outs, 2 men on here for the Royals. So we'll keep you posted if anything does change in that aspect. Going out to the West Coast, we got to talk about this game, Jason, because we're going to talk about the Phillies. I made sure I buried that on the card, so maybe we spend 30 seconds on them. But the Mets and the Dodgers, a full bullpen game yesterday for the Dodgers, and the Mets couldn't do anything. And it's not like we're surprised by that. Now you get Walker Buehler today on the mound, a minus 270 favorite at FanDuel, minus 244 offshore, 8.5 across the board. When I look at this game, the Dodgers, I don't know. It's the same thing. Like, forget if the Dodgers even win. Every night it looks like their pitching is awesome and their lineup is absolutely ready to kill somebody and score 10 runs. I don't know how you go up against it, but we're trying to weather the storm if you're the Mets to try to make the playoffs. But, boy, that goddamn storm is rough out there.
Yes, it is.
One thing on Sunday, looks like Lindor and Baez will come back. So I know Kyle is real excited for Lindor's return.
Oh, yes.
Mets.
Mets team total all day long with Lindor back.
Kyle will tell you that should make a huge difference for the Mets offense moving forward. Kyle will tell you it all. But, Buehler looked really great in his last start against the Mets. 7 innings, 110 pitches, 10 strikeouts. I mean, he looked fantastic. And now at home against this Mets lineup, it's really, really bad. I mean, like I always talk about, the Mets, you need to hit home runs to win games. They're hitting balls, hard, and they're doing, whatever, but they're going right to fielders, and that's just not getting the job done. Teams right now either have to hit home run and strike out, or you're going to hit balls in play, or you're going to get out. And, the best teams in the league, they're hitting a ton of home runs. They strike out a ton. Look at the Giants. Look at the Rays, right? They have high strikeouts, and they also have, lots of powered home runs. Same with the White Sox. So, yeah, the Mets, they're not striking out enough, and they're not hitting home runs enough, apparently. But Walker Buehler looks really good. Carrasco usually struggles to start games, allows a home run or two, and then kind of gets back and settled in a little bit. So, any player in this entire lineup can hit a home run against Carrasco. So that's how good the Dodgers offense is. So, look, just going down the lineup, Turner, Muncy, Turner, Seager, Smith, Pollock, Taylor, and Bellinger. Forget it. I mean, just absolutely forget it. I mean, this is an all-star lineup. So if you're taking the Mets here, you're just trying to, I don't even know what you're trying to do. Just don't do it.
Crazy. I mean, yeah, you're right there. You got Tina Turner. You got Justin Turner. You got Trey Turner. You got Keena Turner out there for the 49ers fan. I mean, you got a lot of Turners out there in Los Angeles.
There we go.
I knew
That's
you would
a
like
blast
that,
from the past. There we go.
I knew you would like that here. Good lineup, as we said, looking for the Dodgers tonight. But it's so tough. Now, the odds in this game, like minus 275 is a favorite for the Dodgers. What are the odds that Steve Cohen tweets out tonight, late night? I don't understand this baseball team that I paid all this money for at this time, because it doesn't look like it's going to get any better with Walker. But yeah, he'll be sleeping tonight and just be, angry tweeting in the morning. What are you looking at tonight, your Kyle, in this game between the Mets and the Dodgers?
Well, I mean, you guys you can't bet the Mets here, and it's tough. It's funny. Like, you're kind of hoping, if you're the Mets, like, hey, if we get a bullpen game, now you get Walker Buehler. I guess their second best starter, maybe here in a few weeks after yesterday, their third best starter, which is just outrageous. The team totals at 5. You could bet that. I see people putting minus 3.5 on the run line. You're smoking way too much peyote. Those are just bets. You're gonna be a long time loser if those are the kind of bets you're making. The only bets you make on the Dodgers tonight, you take the over team total, the over 5, which isn't juiced up too much. The first 5 run line minus 0.5 is at minus 160. It's getting there. That's another way you could take. Obviously, you expect Buehler to outduel Carrasco. It's the lowest weighted 3-year OPS pitcher versus a lineup tonight is the 580 for Walker Buehler. Of course, Carlos Carrasco is a talented guy, still coming back. Doesn't profile very well against these Dodgers. A 920 his last 2 starts, a -3 and a -6 against these Giants. It's Dodgers all day. Stay away from the minus 275 money line. We talk about that all the time. That's just, you're paying way too much to get too little, and if something bad happens, you've just blown it. Minus 0.5 in the first 5, minus 160. Team total over 5. Let me get the adjusted line here, the new line that they have up as I refresh. Over 5, minus 110. That makes a ton of sense. Now you're getting a nice number on the Dodgers. That's the way you got to do it here. Screw those minus 3.5 run lines. Screw those money lines. If you want to make it a parlay piece, that's fine. It's Dodgers all day. First 5 total.
Let me just say something off of Kyle. If you have the minus 3.5, that means the Dodgers would have to win 4-0. Now, if you get that extra run, that's 5, and then you get the push. So I mean, you're nuts to be taking minus 3.5 and get a team total of 5.
Exactly. That's exactly right. It makes zero sense. If you're taking the run line minus 3.5, they have to almost by default get to 5 runs, and you're still probably getting a better number, and you're sweating way less when it's 11-4 in the bottom of the ninth, and the Mets get the bases loaded, and you're so just don't be a dummy. Bet it the right way. Team total or minus 0.5 in the first 5.
Somebody's going to thread that needle with a 4-0 win and be like, I told you Kyle was all about
don't know anything.
What's wrong with you at this point here? And it looks like we have a wisdom home run in Wrigleyville, 1-0 here, bottom of the first inning. Now the Chicago Cubs with the lead. Let's get to some value menu wagers on the card today. Yesterday, treated me very kindly on my value menu wager, picking up a W. I'm going to get back at it today. And a lot of times, it's very simple. The lineup doesn't have to be all that good as long as you get a pitcher on the mound that you believe is fadeable and the team can do some damage with. And that's going to be the Angels versus the Cleveland Indians. I'm going to go against Jaime Barria today, the right-handed pitcher for the Angels on the mound. Why is that? On the season for myself, just looking at the card overall today, I ranked out 28 pitchers. He's number 28 on my list. Over the last 30 days, there's 26 pitchers that I have ranked. He's number 22. You're looking at XFIP minus numbers that are elevated here. ERA numbers okay, but the XFIP and the CR are a little bit too high for my liking. So I'm going to go ahead with the Cleveland Indians side, BetMGM on the sportsbook, 4.5 minus at 115. I think they can get the 5 runs tonight. 9. Might not even get 9 innings because I do think that Cleveland has a legitimate chance to win this game, obviously. But I do think they can get 5 runs tonight off of Barria. And if they can't, maybe get after that bullpen here. Dead in the wood are the Angels. The only thing they care about right now is Shohei Ohtani's MVP. And if you get the 50 home runs outside of that, they're a fadeable franchise for me. 5 runs by Cleveland tonight. Value on my card. Jason, where are you at tonight?
Yeah, so the first I got 2 plays that I'm going to go with the value plays. The first one, Braves over 3 on the team total in the first 5. It shoots up to minus 130, so it's a ridiculous number for the Braves against the lefty in Keegan Aiken. And we were all talking about this yesterday, and I had to go along with it and take the Braves here. It's a high number. If it was a 2.5, it would be an official play, but it's at a 3. It shoots up to minus 130, so we're just going to make it a value play. Aiken, 6.73 xFIP in the last 30 days, striking out 16% of batters, walking 8%, ground ball rate really low, line drive rate high enough. Also, the hard contact's not terrible, but, I mean, this is a guy who's been awful against lefties, awful more against righties, and the Braves lineup that has all righties, they're going to have a designated hitter, so it's going to be Freddie Freeman, and the rest will all be righties in the lineup to go up against Aiken, who doesn't have a win this year, and an ERA over 8 on the year. So his FIP a lot lower than that ERA, but there's a reason why he's been struggling, and it's due to balls, batting average of balls in play, which is at 405, and the Braves can do just that as well, especially with Jorge Soler in the lineup, who's been destroying lefties as of late. So the first one, Braves over 3 on the team total in the first 5 innings. The next one is going to be the Toronto Blue Jays, again, over that 3 in the first 5, just at minus 105. So again, if they just get 3, it's a push, just like the Braves game. Wasn't able to find that 2.5, but yeah, the Blue Jays are out Springer again, so we're going to need Donnie to call up and see what's up with Springer. Outside that, though, Alexander, 5.48 xFIP, striking out just 17.4% of batters. Way worse against righties in the lineup for the Blue Jays. There will all be a ton of righties in the lineup. They've done really well against lefties when it comes to putting the ball in play, striking out just 12.8% of the time, also walking 12.3% of the time. So we'll get guys on base for the Blue Jays. Just need that one big, 3-run blast to get that push, or 2 2-run blasts. Got Guerrero in there. You have Hernandez in there. Simeon's been really good. Also, Bo Bichette hasn't been great, but still another bat to look out for in this game. So again, the Blue Jays over 3 in the first 5 on the team total minus 105, and also the Braves over 3 team total first 5 minus 130 on the 2 value plays.
Yeah, let's see what's up with George Springer right now. All right, beep, bop, bop, bop. Doo-doo-doo. The number you have called is no longer in service. Damn, George Springer. I mean, you want to talk about not available, no longer even in service at this point, hanging out with Mike Trout in this time of the season. Fire going fast food for you today, Kyle. Where's the value at?
I still don't understand. I swear I try to follow every transaction and injury, and then I'm like, where did this guy go? And then some guys come back, and I'm like, holy shit, this guy's been gone forever. I forgot he existed. Really weird. Baseball is weird that way. So for me, look, I have to find a way to attack this Atlanta-Baltimore game. I'm going to find several ways to do it today. The team total for the Braves is over 6. So do I want to be holding the can, hoping for 7 runs? I'll leave that for Donnie when he's really feeling it, and he did hit it that day, by the way. I'm not going to mess with that fire. Okay, no, thank you. But I will say it's a little juiced up here. Look, we got Keegan Aiken on the mound for Baltimore. I will say some people have quite astutely notified me the last time he played the Braves, he had the best start of his career at 48. That's a much different lineup, as Jason talked about the other day. This team is going to be loaded with righties, with power righties who aren't striking out. It's a weighted 888 3-year OPS. Keegan Aiken, in his last 5 starts, has -3, 1, 6, 9, and his big outing of 12 fantasy points. This is one of the worst left-handed pitchers in the league. I've got the Braves -0.5 in the first 5. It's juiced up to -160. That's why it's on the value menu. For the Braves, you got Fried on the mound, the 3rd lowest on the card, a 621 weighted OPS. 4 of his last 5 starts, 46 fantasy points or more. He looks really, really good. I think Fried absolutely fares better against that Baltimore lineup. And we do say on occasion that Baltimore is sneaky against lefties. That tends to be against lefties who aren't very good. Max Fried's a fairly solid pitcher. Probably, I mean, you could argue between him and Charlie Morton, the best pitcher on the Braves, and the Braves are starting to put distance between themselves and everyone else out in the National League East, as you 2 gentlemen know quite astutely. So for me, it's a little bit too easy. Braves -0.5 in the first 5. It's at -160. Aiken, first 5, as our boy Vitalis lets us know in the chat, 0-8-2 in the first 5 innings. Has not won a first 5 yet, so I feel pretty damn good about that. And in that same vein, everyone likes the strikeout under props. I did Keegan Aiken today under 4.5 strikeouts. It's at -155 over at BetMGM. The Braves do strike out a little bit as a team overall for the season, but again, this is a different lineup. A bunch of righties versus that lefty. I don't expect Aiken to make it out of the 3rd inning. Braves win the first 5 innings, and Aiken under 4.5 strikeouts.
Yeah, Braves sitting here at BetMGM, 5.5 -145 as a team total. So if you want to pay it down to 6, look at that. Usually we're like, hey, let's pay it down to 3 or 2.5. You're paying it down to a 6 spot here. But then again, it's 9 at-bats against an all-time horrendous team. And I could get off on a tangent on how Major League Baseball operates, but the fact that the Baltimore Orioles are so historically bad. They have one of the better farm systems in baseball, but you can't bring any of your good players up because you don't want to pay them. What a great structure, Major League Baseball, that you have going on right now. Fantastic. Keep it up here. Odds boosted here. What's my odds boost yesterday? And as I said, I'm betting this game not because I capped it, or I'm betting this boost not because I capped it, but I want to have a little bit of fun out here. Well, they didn't have too much fun with the Eagles. They scored a lot of points last night. They scored roughly as many as I scored sitting here talking about the game, which is exactly 0. And then the Philadelphia Phillies, well, I mean, that's what it is at this point. So odds boost for me today, going back to Fox Bet. I'm going with 2 guys to hit a home run that they're going to combine into 1. And I'm going to fade 2 really bad pitchers. I'm going to go to the Bronx with Aaron Judge, and I'm also going to go to Nolan Arenado with St. Louis. 2 bad pitchers. One of these guys, if they hit a home run, is odds boosted up from 125 to plus 155. I legitimately think I have a chance at both of these, with both of these guys hitting a home run. So I'm going to go with Fox Bet tonight. Give me that plus 155 here on a Friday. Jason, where are you looking for an odds boost tonight?
Yeah, William Hill has the Cardinals to score 4 runs or more through 6 innings on William Hill, boosted to plus 130. Of course, there's this guy named Mitch Keller on the mound, and he's been pretty awful as of late. I won't get into it any longer. We'll get on with that.
We got to be careful. We're trying to win today. Yeah. Let's be careful. Like, I said too much about Keegan Aiken. I'm terrified now. I went too far. A 5.68 xFIP.
They watch this show,
13,
damn it.
I know.
13.4% of batters. I mean, it just is what it is. It's just, at this point, it's just facts. So, but that's play. We'll go plus 130 on the boost for the Cardinals to score 4 runs or more through 6 innings on William Hill.
I wonder how many times, throughout the, thousands of shows I've done on SBR, if like a professional athlete came through with a burner and is one of the people flaming us and trolling us in here. It's probably happened before, but obviously you can't let it be known. I would think that's fantastic if, you get an from Keegan Aiken after the game, right to Kyle. That would be some sensational stuff as we're looking at here. But odds boosted to the moon. Kyle, what do you got tonight?
That's actually happened to me before, but it was a WNBA player's aunt, and she told me she would kick my ass if I ever go to Dallas. Just for saying I said her niece just stands in the corner and does nothing, which is what she did. And this woman wants to beat my ass, so I'm a little terrified to go to Dallas, but that's neither here nor there. So for me in the odds boost, I'm going back to the Braves and Orioles. I want as much of this as I can, and people are right. I like the team total for 6. I'm just a coward, and for me, sitting there rooting for 7 runs in the game of baseball is just a little bit scary. So that's why I didn't jump on it, but it's certainly live. But I'm going back to the Braves and Orioles, and I'm going to go Max Fried, 7+ strikeouts, and the Braves to win. That's boosted up to plus 200. Is that what I forgot what it's on Fox Bet there. It's boosted from 170 to 200. Braves to win, Max Fried to get 7+ strikeouts, a number he's hit. I believe it was 6 out of his last 9 starts. Baltimore strikes out quite a bit. Well, not as much as some of the other bad teams, but enough to where it's a reasonable expectation. I certainly expect the Braves to win. So Braves to win, Fried plus 7 strikeouts over at Fox Bet, boosted up to plus 200.
All right, best bets on the Major League Baseball board. It's time because it's Friday, and yes, it's payday. Back in play today, and I'm going to go with a straight-up fade of a horrendous pitcher coupled by a horrendous bullpen, exactly where I like it. 80 degrees at first pitch tonight. Where are we going? Baseball America out there. The St. Louis Cardinals today, and that's at 4.5 minus 125 for my play of the day. The St. Louis Cardinals at BetMGM. Team total over 4.5. Here's why we like it here. Mitch Keller, 5.68 xFIP number over the past 30 days. We do know he's a bad pitcher, but also the best part about being a bad pitcher, sometimes, hey, righties hit him, and he's good against lefties, or vice versa. Everybody hits this guy. Weighted on base averages for lefties against Keller last 30 days, a 448. How about righties? A 422. Is it a sensational lineup here tonight for the St. Louis Cardinals? No, it's not. And you also saw the Cardinals beating up on bad pitching previously before playing the Milwaukee Brewers that had their bullpen back intact, and some of the best pitchers in the National League. Got 8 runs last night. I think they can step up to the plate once again. And also, if we're just taking a look at some numbers on the season itself, take a look at the full season here for Mitch Keller. 6.86 ERA, 5.12 xFIP, 5.07 on the card for a Sierra price. And then if you take a look at his last 30 days, same thing, guys. xFIP minus 122, 5.16 xFIP, 5.29 Sierra number. You should light this team up. But also, what do we like to do? Let's just say a really good start tonight. What? 5 or 6 innings out of Mitch Keller and 3 earned runs. Oh, yeah. There's 30 bullpens in Major League Baseball. And over the last 2 weeks, Pittsburgh ranks a stealthy 28. We're going to get 2 chances against a bad pitcher and a bad bullpen to get 5 runs in St. Louis. I'm getting that job done tonight. We are taking this winner on Friday. Jason, take it away. What you got tonight?
Yeah, so I'm going to take the White Sox over 2 in the first 5 at minus 130. Now, to be completely transparent, I did write articles earlier today for SBR, and I put the 2.5 there for the White Sox at plus 115. I cashed out on DraftKings at plus 115. I'm taking that 2 on points bet over 2 in the first 5 at minus 130. I like playing it safe, just how I am. Obviously, I still believe we'll get 3 runs. Talk about Wacha just a little bit. And again, in his last 3 starts, 14 innings pitched, 30 hits, 18 runs allowed, 11.57 ERA in those 3 starts. And we've talked about this before. Even in those 3 starts when he allowed all of those runs and all of those hits, where he went 5 innings, and 4 innings, he actually, his pitch count 92, 97, 86. So they're still throwing him out there until those 4 or 5 innings are over, or until he, absolutely craps the bed and it's over. You look at this White Sox lineup: 240 ISO, weighted OBA 351, Abreu, Jimenez, Goodwin, Robert, Lamb, Zavala all have high power ISOs against righties in the last 30 days. Hernandez actually has 2 extra base hits against Wacha in his career, 1 being a home run and 1 being a double. So although he hasn't been great in terms of power, he does have power against Wacha. Tim Anderson has struggled at the top of the order against righties, but he's a guy that he can get hot anytime against righties, and he can do some damage there. So great lineup for the White Sox, getting just that 2 number. So they score 2. It's a push, and you can just live on for the next day. So I love this. I don't love going up against that bullpen, but for Kyle's sake, for example, I believe that we'll be able to get enough runs in the first 5 innings against Wacha. You don't need to worry about the bullpen. So that's why I'll go with the first 5. And if you have that 2.5, don't sweat it. I still agree with it. You're getting plus money, so once it cashes, you actually win more money than me in terms of ROI. And so that's all I could really ask for anyway. I like when you guys are cashing your tickets. So
yeah, there was a 3.5. BetMGM is 3.5 at minus 155 for the full game as well. So if you want to pay for it, you can get those numbers down pretty low at this time. What are we looking at? Best bets and bankers on Kyle's board tonight.
That might be. I'm feeling cowardly today, so I might just actually I already have a little one on. I might hedge it down, and just in case they only get 4 runs. But my play today is that White Sox team total. We're on the same page here. And listen, while Michael Wacha has struggled, I know he taught his kid how to ride a bike. He donated to a local charity. He was a fashion model in a men's magazine. So there's a lot of good things happening for Michael Wacha, and his arm looks solid. They're just hitting it a little bit, So I don't want to go too hard on him here, but I'm on that White Sox team total over 4.5 minus 115. And you touched on it beautifully. Am I concerned about the bullpen? I absolutely am. And I usually like to attack team totals against teams who have those bad bullpens. But if we get 4 runs here, which is absolutely doable in those first 5 innings where they throw Wacha out there for those 86, 90, 95 pitches, just got to scrape 1 run across the next 5 innings. This White Sox lineup, very talented, very powerful, more than able to get 1 run across in 4 innings of bullpen work. I think that team total is a nice value today. It's over 4.5. It's minus 115. And if you're over at BetMGM, I like that over 3.5 minus 155. Gives you that warm, fuzzy feeling once you get to 4 early on. But for me, it's the White Sox, and I love the White Sox lineup in DFS as well.
All right, let's get to the odds lightning round. Big card here on Friday. Let's see if we can find some bits and pieces that make a lot of sense. 963, 964, Minnesota and the New York Yankees. Barnes, the lefty on the mound, versus Cortez, the lefty. Both of these guys a little bit elevated here in their xFIP numbers. A massive favorite here. The Yankee tax is back. Minus 245 here in New Jersey, minus 224 offshore. And we take a look at these totals, 10.5. And you know what? I think they can get this between these two teams because I don't like the pitching matchups per se here. 2 decent-looking lineups. And let's remember, the Yankees on a 7-game winning streak, the leaders in the clubhouse for the wild card. Jason, looking at this game tonight, looking at runs, looking at an upset from Minnesota, or do those good times keep rolling for the New York Yankees?
Yeah, no, I like the Yankees. I think the good times do keep rolling for them. They made some solid moves at the deadline, and now they're basically healthy for the most part. And with Luke Voit batting as a designated hitter, and you have Rizzo at first, I mean, things just look really good for the Yankees, and that's why they're playing well and they're winning games. And now they got the Twins, another team that's not going to be making the playoffs, and they're obviously way worse than the Yankees in a lot of different areas. So I like the Yankees here. I think their offense gets the job done. They've done a solid job walking against lefties in the last 30 days. Now, Barnes isn't a big walk guy, but his xFIP really high, nearing 6. Ground ball rate is low, line drive rate high, hard contact also high. That's not good at Yankee Stadium when you have a high line drive contact. We saw yesterday a couple home runs that would have not left the ballpark in a lot of different ballparks that did in the Yankee game. So I like the Yankees here. I think they got the job done against Barnes and the Twins bullpen. I would keep riding that momentum.
Yeah, we talked a lot here already about that Atlanta-Baltimore game. Fried on the mound versus Aiken, the lefty. 6 runs. I think they should be able to get it. Minus 240 price. No need to break that game down any longer. The only question is, can Atlanta, I guess, get that team total and the game total all by themselves? But Kyle, next up on the card, 965, 966, Detroit and Toronto. Alexander, the lefty, versus Robbie Ray, the lefty. Another massive favorite. A $3 price here as a favorite towards the Toronto Blue Jays here in New Jersey. 269 offshore. 9.5 across the board in this spot. That is a high price to pay, but it looks like they're anticipating some runs and an easy victory, per se, for the Toronto Blue Jays, Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, the Blue Jays team total was really close to my value menu, over 5.5 minus 115. And I almost bought it down to 4.5, and I could have got it way higher. The Blue Jays should score, and they profile well. Alexander's one of the worst lefties in baseball. Let's just call it what it is. Robbie Ray
and Alexander.
Huh?
we got 2 of the worst lefties with Aiken and Alexander.
It's correct. We really do. And then you got those, the trio out in St. Louis. So it's a fun little jaunt there. But no, Alexander not very good. Does not profile well. 884 weighted 3-year OPS. Robbie Ray profiles exponentially better. The problem is the numbers aren't very good. So the only way to bet this game is the Blue Jays team total. I mean, even the run line in the first 5 is minus 185. That's really high. We're starting to see some really inflated numbers there. So for me, the bet is the Blue Jays team total over 5.5 minus 115. The Blue Jays should absolutely rake for your DFS lineup. Every single hitter is in the green today. Every single one of them. Outside of if Reese McGuire plays, which I don't know why they would today. If he plays, he would have a disadvantage. I think home run props are live for Bichette, Teoscar Hernandez, Vladimir Guerrero. They should hit today. Love the Blue Jays. Love that team total over 5.5 minus 115. Honorable mention for my value menu.
By the way, just watching right here the Cubs game, you have one of the worst defensive plays I've ever seen by Kansas City. But the best part, it was coupled with a pitcher who's running the bases who has no idea what he's doing. So we're looking at the screen right now. Davies rounded third base and was about halfway home. The fielder had not picked up the ball that went by him yet, and he stopped and stayed on third base. And everybody in the crowd simultaneously is like this in the background. I mean, you got to be like pitchers. Get them out of the game.
Get them
out of the game right now. So we'll see if they're able to score a run here, up 1-0 already in the bottom of the third inning. But I'm telling you, you could have walked home. You could have just walked home right there with no problem. And he's like, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to risk it at this point. So interesting doings here with our daily pitchers should not be batting dialogue. Miami versus Cincinnati. Hernandez versus Gray on the mound today. Heavy favorite here for Cincinnati. 190 in New Jersey, 183 offshore, 8.5 across the board. Elieser Hernandez there for the Miami Marlins. You know, recent pitching. He's been around Major League Baseball. Young kid trying to come back. Since Cincinnati are nothing for me. But again, you're talking about the haves and the have-nots here, Kyle. Paying big prices for these teams. Cincinnati should be able to hit. Probably. I think they win this ball game, though.
You meant Jason, right? You meant Jason. Go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's fine.
You're good.
Hernandez did not look great in his first start. When you look at the analytics, 5.96 xFIP, striking out just 18.2% of batters, and also struggled against righties in that one start. So, yeah, we don't have enough information on him, as of late. So I'm not going to go sit here and go bet the Reds because of that. But, I do think the Reds are a potential team that can score some runs. Sonny Gray, another pitcher that's actually kind of struggled against righties as of late. 55 plate appearances and weighted OBA of 410 and ISO of 245, which is really high. The walks are also high on both sides of the plate. So the Marlins, can they score runs? Yes. Do you want to bet them to score runs? Absolutely not. I mean, they're the Marlins. So therefore, stay away game for me. There's really nothing that I see here that I would bet.
All right, 967, 968, Kyle. Jaime Barria's on the mound versus Henches, the lefty for Cleveland. Opened up at 10. It's actually at 9.5 at some outlets, 10s at some others. Looking at roughly a coin flip game here between the Angels and the Indians. Any thoughts on this one from you?
I think it's real bad, and if you can find the Henches under strikeout props at 3.5, take it. If you can find the Barria under 3.5, 4 strikeout props, take it. I don't know what the hell to do with this game. Both these lineups kind of stink. I would favor Cleveland just a little bit there. Both these pitchers are absolutely god-awful, so I do expect there to be runs. Like 2 bullpens who are very hittable as well, so I would lean the over 9.5 on this. I think both these teams are sneaky DFS options. If I had to pick the one I trust the most, I'm with Donnie. I like the Cleveland team total just a little bit more than the Angels because they actually have more professional hitters in their lineup there. Slight lean to Cleveland and their team total. Both team totals are live. They could be sneaky DFS options, and I'll go the over 9.5 in this game as well.
There you go. By the way, just right on cue, a ground out. So now there's 2 outs with runners on second and third when you should already have a run in. But I can't get enough of the Blue Angels flying around the stadium and scaring the players midway through the game. It's sensational TV right now. But I guess that's what happens when the Chicago Cubs
our
tank
tax
the
dollars
season.
hard at work.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you know what? Let's tank the season. Who gives a damn if we just run planes right over Wrigley Field? Because they ain't winning anything anyway here.
They need
bad
all
baseball teams.
They need all that practice, right? The next big war is going to be one with airplanes, right? Like, what is wrong with people? Why do we waste money on we don't need a damn Air Force anymore. Get it out of here. Let's go.
Yeah, put it right over it because it keeps on. That's why Kyle has that opinion because they run them right over his house.
Exactly.
Daily on this stuff
I hate
here.
him with the fiery passion.
And a base hit by Happ here scored 2 runs, so 3-0. So they were able to drive him in. I'm not sure. Did he get thrown out? Because I wasn't paying any attention at this point either on that. But looks like the 2 runs do come in, so you needed a bailout here. Let's take a look next. Dunning versus Sale, the lefty on the mound. Minus 318 in opening number offshore, and that sits at minus 290. Here in New Jersey, you want Chris Sale? You're going to pay 330 with a total of 9 here in the books. Dunning and Sale, what gives today? And I'm going to say, is it Jason's turn right now?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember too, and I just talked. I can't remember. That's why we're getting phased out for the young guys. This is what's happening.
I'm getting angry at this because every time I look up here, I'm trying to pay attention to the show, and some ridiculousness has happened in this Cubs game. Go here, talk about Dunning and Sale.
Yeah, look, it's kind of crazy though, right? Sale, he's got 1 start on the season and already a favorite of minus 300 plus. That's kind of crazy, but I do see the Red Sox scoring plenty of runs against Dunning and the Rangers bullpen. Against righties in the last 30 days, we've seen some solid hitting from the Red Sox. ISO 246, weighted OBA 352, and they're not hitting many ground balls, just 35.8% line drive rate, 22.5%. So there's things to like for the Red Sox and their offense. Obviously, hasn't been the best, month for the Red Sox in terms of the standings, but they should be able to hit today. They should do a solid job against Dunning. Then, of course, the bullpen for the Rangers, not very good either. So I do like the Red Sox on the team total over. And, I agree. Sale should, destroy that Texas lineup. We talk about the Texas lineup all the time. They're not very good, right? Garcia, Peters, the two guys with solid ISO powers. But, Sale looked great in his first game. Should look great, moving forward. And he's a big piece for the Red Sox to, if they want to make that playoffs, and make a playoff push. Sale's a big piece to have in that lineup or in that rotation. The best thing that they could have got at the trade deadline, for example.
Yeah, I was close here on Boston but taking a look, the Texas bullpen is horrendous, which maybe is a good live spot here. But Dunning has some decent xFIP minus numbers on the season and over the last 30 days. It was enough to pull me a little bit back. And again, I don't think I'm going to get a dominant performance from those Texas bats here to try to get that running mate here. So a little bit short on that one, but I wouldn't be surprised if Boston does hit in this game. Corbin and Anderson, two lefties on the mound tonight, Washington and Milwaukee. That is rotation 953, 954. Kyle, heavy favorite once again. You're going to be paying for the haves versus the have-nots here. Close to 200 here for Anderson, the lefty, going up against Corbin. Corbin in the past has shown some, good pitching performances, but I want nothing to do with this team. And again, a horrendous bullpen for the Nationals as well.
I know. Someone asked me on Twitter for some wild parlay, and I just typed it out to him, and I feel bad that I included the Brewers because I want nothing to do with this team either after last night. No, this scares the crap out of me. Brett Anderson is god awful. He's another one of those, bottom 7 lefties in the league, and then it's not like Corbin's that far above him. There should be runs in this game, maybe lean the over 9, but there's no way I'm paying that price on the Brewers right now, even though they are 9-1 their last 10 games, one of the hotter teams in baseball. And their lineup does profile nice, an 825 weighted 3-year OPS off of Corbin, but it's just too expensive. And even what's the first 5 run line here? Let me take a look at it here. First minus 120 if you want to take the Brewers, but again, then you're relying on Anderson to shut down Wash. You can't rely on him to shut down anyone. Complete stay away game, better spots on this card. I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole, especially with Anderson on the mound.
And by the way, this game keeps getting better and better. They did run to the replay here, and the runner that they did say scored to make it 3-0, but a horrible base running blunder by Happer. He fell down through first base, almost got tagged out before the runner crossed the plate for that second run. It's like, hey, man, when you got bad baseball teams going at it, you are getting some interesting things here going back and forth. Kikuchi versus McCullers here, next game up on the docket, 973, 974. Decent numbers for Kikuchi on the season here, but a heavy favorite once again here for the Houston Astros with McCuller on the mound. Jason, what are you thinking about this game between Seattle and Houston?
Yeah, I mean, we watched the Astros, this entire week, and they haven't looked great offensively. Obviously, their final game, they scored some runs later in the game, but, against lefties, Alvarez, Diaz, and Gurriel have been the only guys to really do much damage. The rest of the lineup hasn't done much, so it's really hard to back Houston in this spot against Kikuchi. Obviously, McCullers has been, a little bit better than Kikuchi, and yeah, the walks are kind of high for McCullers, but outside of that, he's been pretty good. Doesn't really allow too much hard contact, gets a lot of ground balls. So there's a lot to like from McCullers. So I would take the under in the first 5 here in this game. Not much like in the Astros lineup, and then the Seattle, they're so hit or miss. And it's really, they rely on their pitching to win games. Their bullpen's been really good. It's not really their bats that have done much of the winning, per se. It's really more of the pitching. So I like the under in the first 5. And maybe the under in the full game, but, you never know what the Astros later in games, they kind of figure it out at times. Like I said, though, Seattle does have a good bullpen. So the under in the full game wouldn't be a bad look. It's just, what if a game is, 2-2, 3-3 after 9, then you're screwed. We've seen that happen plenty of times throughout the season. So the first 5 under would probably be the best play in this one.
All right, keep it moving down the list here. Pittsburgh and St. Louis. Keller versus Michaelis on the mound today. New Jersey, a minus 215. Pinnacle, a minus 193. Salvador Perez goes deep to make it a 3-1 ball game here in the top of the 4th inning. Any thoughts on this game? Because, hey, I got a best bet in the banker on this with the St. Louis team total over 4.5. I would like to see Pittsburgh score some runs in this game. Not sure if they can, but an 8.5 total here, I think St. Louis will be able to carry that and get the victory. Just laying 210 here. Maybe a little bit of a steep price, but I do think St. Louis does win this game, Kyle.
Yeah, I lean St. Louis as well. I will say Keller in his last 2 starts has been fairly effective against St. Louis, a 40 and a 24. They're a tough team to trust at times. They have been hitting the ball lately. Mitch Keller, obviously not a very good pitcher. I do think that the Cardinals team total is 100% live. It's a little juiced up for my it's not a big enough pitching advantage or for me to take the minus 0.5 at minus 135 in the first 5 run line. So the only way I'm betting this game is that Cardinals team total. Some guys in this lineup you might like for DFS. Guys like Matt Carpenter profile really nicely. Goldschmidt's been okay. Nolan Arenado has never faced him. He's all right against righties. Paul DeYoung looks pretty solid as well. Team total should hit. I lean the Cardinals here. Just not a big enough discrepancy in the pitching matchup for me to take the 135 in the first 5 innings.
Mr. No-hitter on the mound, Gilbert, the lefty from Arizona, going up against Colorado with Austin Gomber, the other lefty here. Minus 196 here in New Jersey is a favorite towards Colorado. Minus 185 here on Pinnacle. 11 to 11.5 across the board. Now, that Colorado lineup, the way they profile against lefties, particularly at home, they are mashing the baseball. But is it going to be a fade of a guy who just threw a no-hitter? You don't believe that this kid's as good as the hype as he is? Because he does have a couple appearances in Major League Baseball this year, and it has done the job. Obviously, 9 innings, no earned runs, and no hits in the last game that he had. But is this a fade that we're taking a look at, Jason? How are we approaching this game between Arizona and Colorado?
Yeah, you can't ignore the Rockies and their offense at home against lefties. 283 ISO, weighted OBA 405 for the lineup, the projected lineup, just striking out 17.7% of the time. They're walking 10% of the time. They're good at home. Their offense is way better. And Gilbert, he had a batting average of balls in play of .074. That is really hard to sustain. He did have some scares during that game. Good for him. He had a great outing, but there were some scares. XFIP still high from that game. 4.38, walked 11.9% of the batters, and, had just, I think, 5 strikeouts in that game. So a lot of balls were in play. If he does that again, he's not going to get the no-hitter in this one. So, yeah, I like the Rockies here. I think they got the job done. I wouldn't mind taking a minus 0.5 in the first 5 for the Rockies in this spot against Gilbert. Now, they are coming off a sweep against the Phillies, but I do think the Rockies could, flip it and sweep against the Diamondbacks in this series. We'll see about the pitching matchup. Not sure beyond just today's pitching matchup, but I think the Rockies at home, they're a different team, and they can do a ton of damage, and I think they'd do that in this game.
All right, last game of the day, we're going to talk about the Philadelphia Phillies and the San Diego Padres. Moore, the lefty on the mound, versus Snell, the lefty. Heavy favorite here in New Jersey, minus 220 for the San Diego Padres, minus 200 offshore at Pinnacle. 9s and 8.5s across the board, depending on where you're shopping at for this game. Moore, he's done a little bit better lately. Blake Snell, his numbers are okay, but not for the performance levels that you expected to get out of him. It's just a matter of trusting either one of these lineups at this point, Kyle. Which way are you looking between Philadelphia and San Diego?
Well, I wanted to fade Matt Moore, and I wanted to take that Padres team total, but that's a hard team to trust right now, right? The Padres are a little bit of an enigma. Snell's looked a little bit better recently. I do agree with them being the favorite, but do you really want to trust Snell and the lineup that's been a little bit weird? And a Matt Moore who seems to be having signs at minus 140 in the first 5, minus 210 on the money line in the first. I mean, these are huge numbers for the Padres. Do you trust them enough in that scenario? I do not. So it's a complete stay away game for me. If you want to take some plus money on a Phillies team that certainly has the talent to compete in this game, maybe the Phillies are one of those heavy underdog spots. Of all the ones I look at, I would say that of the big heavy underdogs today, the Phillies are the best of those teams. So that'd be the way I go if I'm looking for a big underdog spot. Dog or pass, take the Phillies.
All right, clearing the bases here for a Friday, our favorite show of the week, because it is payday. Let's let the good people know what we're on before we get out of here. So clearing up some of the issues out there, St. Louis team total over 4.5, minus 125 at BetMGM. That is my play of the day. Cleveland, 4.5, minus 115 is my value menu wager play of the day. And also my Fox Bet odds boost here, Aaron Judge or Nolan Arenado to hit a home run tonight. Odds boosted from plus 125 to plus 155. Jason, what are you on today?
Yeah, the odds boost is going to be the Cardinals to score 4 runs in 6 innings or fewer on William Hill at plus 130. Again, on William Hill. The 2 value plays, Braves over 3, team total in the first 5 at minus 130. The Blue Jays over 3 in the first 5, team total minus 105. And, of course, the big play will be the White Sox over 2 in the first 5 at minus 130. Now, if you get that 2.5 at plus money, that's also great. I think we'll score multiple, 3, 4, 5 runs in the first 5 innings against Waka. So if you're stuck with the 2.5, don't worry about it. Plus money, that's really good value there, too.
All right, Kyle, clear the bases. What do you have tonight?
Okay, let's try to remember. So on the value menu, we've got the Braves minus 0.5 in the first 5. That's sitting at minus 160. Our play of the day is that White Sox team total against Michael Wacha, the handsome and debonair Michael Wacha, over 4.5 at minus 115. Our odds boost is back to that Braves game. Max Fried 7+ strikeouts and the Braves to win boosted from 170 to 200. Our under strikeout prop in that Atlanta game, Keegan Aiken under 4.5 strikeouts minus 155. Our home run list today, Nelson Cruz, Teoscar Hernandez, Joey Votto, Trevor Story, Rafael Devers, and of course, the great Shohei Ohtani.
There we go. Out of here on a Friday. And then before you know, it's going to be Monday, and we'll be back here on the show. But enjoy your weekend out there. Hopefully you can cash some of those tickets in. Enjoy some NFL football. Enjoy some baseball. Relax. As the summer is getting shorter, football season is getting near. I'm Donnie Seymour for Jason Radowitz and Kyle Purviance. We are the Sportsbook Review.com Major League Baseball team. This was your Friday show. And as always, good luck on those wagers.